So far, Mike Trout has been having a special year. At the time of this recording, he has a .342 batting average, a .463 on-base percentage, and a .649 slugging percentage. So as you can see, he is having a special year. But what's even more special is on May 4th, the Tampa Bay Rays decided to take an infielder and put him to the outfield to stop him, Mike Trout, from getting a hit or extra base hits. So in this video, we watch what happens when Mike Trout goes against 4 outfielders from the Tampa Bay Rays. And if you watch until the end, I'm going to share with you what the Rays got wrong versus Mike Trout. That's going to be super shocking and a little controversial. And I'm also going to give you a gift for free that will help you to hit for power and be more consistent as a hitter if you're struggling with that. So let's get started.
Yeah, what, 427.
Check this out. We got the 4 outfield alignment against Mike Trout.
Last couple of seasons prior to this, when Mike Trout had a higher launch angle, but his launch angle has leveled out this year. So there's not as many fly balls.
God, this is where when you see all this smarty pants stuff happening, this is where you just want Mike to hit a 100-mile-an-hour rocket right back up the middle. Or just homer.
Yeah, that would be good too.
It's just homer. 2 balls and no strikes.
Lower third, that's his pitch.
How many teams do this to Trout?
I've never seen 4 outfielders before.
You know, the Rays do this occasionally. I know that the Astros did this a couple of years ago to Joey Gallo, but they only did it in Houston. It wasn't like a regular thing. 2-2.
Not only is the 4 outfielders, they're all playing extremely deep, so Trout, if he makes any contact at all other than on the ground, it's got a good chance of falling in there in the outfield.
Oh, get going. Get going. Yeah, put 4 guys out there. Put 7 guys out there. He'll hit it over the lot of you.
That was a majestic home run for Trout. His 8th home run. Jumped on an elevated pitch, and he got it out. And you needed one more outfielder to put him in the stands. That's all you needed. That's on the inner half. Runs that one in, brings the hands in, and still lifts it out for Trout. How quick he was able to bring his hands inside on that baseball. That had some height. Where's that other outfielder?
Welcome back to my channel. I'm former MLB player Jermaine Curtis, and in this video we have the Tampa Bay Rays trying to stop Mike Trout, but they can't stop him. Instead, he hits it all over their head for a solo home run. And I thought to myself, wow, Mike Trout is unstoppable. But then I got curious. I said, why would the Tampa Bay Rays do this? And the simple answer is because Luis Patino was pitching. And if we look into his stats, Luis Patino, we see that when batters face him, they have a 20-degree launch angle. This means that he is a fly ball pitcher, and the odds are if you face him, you are going to hit the ball in the air. And when we dig a little deeper this year, players are hitting a very high 51% of fly balls against him. But that's not what you want to see. You want to know why the Tampa Bay Rays were wrong about Mike Trout. So historically, Mike Trout has been a guy who has hit for a high average and has hit for power. When we look at his stats, we see that he has a career 300 average, a 419 on base percentage, and a 584 slugging, which results to over 1,000 OPS. This is the reason he signed a 12-year, $430 million deal. That's moolah, and a lot of it. And, you know, he deserves it. He has been one of the most consistent hitters of the century. And so since we know that he has consistently done damage, it makes sense why they would put 4 players in the outfield to stop him from getting extra base hits. But then I thought about it more. What if he only hits a single? I mean, if he does hit a single, it's not like he's going to steal bases. I mean, he's not stealing bases like he used to, like early in his career. And then I started to dig a bit deeper than that. I said, I wonder what his numbers look like. And after digging into his numbers, there was something shocking that popped out to me. For example, Mike Trout's launch angle has decreased. And a lot of you are going to be upset about me using the word launch angle. Hey, look, I don't like using the word either, but in this case, I have to. If we look into his stats, we see that on the low side, he has a 14-degree launch angle. And on the high side, it has gotten as high as 23 degrees. But this year, it's at 11.5. And I know it's early, so things could change. But the reason the title of this video was why the Tampa Bay Rays were wrong about Mike Trout is because of a few things. The first is that he is not hitting the ball in the air as much as he usually does. Again, I know this is early and things can change, but I just want to give my 2 cents on it. Since he is not hitting the ball in the air as much,
what is he doing then?
well, he is hitting the ball more on the ground. I know you're like,
Wait, what do you mean?
Mike Trout is hitting a lot more ground balls this year. If we look into his stats, we see that he is hitting the ball on the ground at a 44% rate this year as compared to his last few years. And this is super high. Again, I know it's early and things will change, but it's crazy to think about this, right? So the next question is,
Jermaine, you always say that ground balls ends up being outs in the MLB. Why is Mike Trout doing so well then?
well, the honest answer is, and you're not going to like this if you're a super fan of Mike Trout, but he is getting lucky.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. But Jermaine, you mean to tell me the best player in the game is getting lucky right now?
Yes, he is. And the reason is this. When we look at his BABIP, which stands for batted balls in play, we see that he is hitting 469. See, batted balls in play measures a player's batting average exclusively on balls hit in the field, removing outcomes not affected by the opposing defense. So basically removing all home runs and strikeouts. For example, if a hitter goes 2 for 5 with a home run and a strikeout, that player would have a 333 BABIP because he's 1 for 3 on the balls he put in play. Remember, excluding home runs and strikeouts. And the MLB league average BABIP is typically around 300. So back to Mike Trout. As I said earlier, he has a BABIP of 469. This means he is hitting 469 when he puts the ball in play. Look, if you think that it's just plain skill, you might be a little cuckoo. That's luck. And I'm not trying to be a hater or anything. I love Mike Trout's game, but you have to be honest. That's luck. And we all needed to be successful in this game. I know there are times in my career where I was like, I'm glad I had a little luck come my way. To add to my point, let's look at his career batted ball in play. He usually hits around 320, and at the highest, he's been up to 383. But this year, he's had a 469 batted ball in play. Also, when you look at where he's hitting the ball, we see that he is hitting the ball less to his opposite side. He is hitting the ball at about 11% of the time to the opposite field as opposed to about 25% of the time in years past. Also, he is hitting the ball 30 to 40% of the time up the middle, and he has remained the same this year. But lastly, when we look at pulling the ball, we see that he is hitting the ball more to his pull side. If you look at his previous years, he normally hits the ball to his pull side about 30 to 40% of the time. But this year, he is hitting it at 50% of the time, and this is extremely high. So from my analysis, we see that Mike Trout is getting lucky right now. He is finding holes and getting base hits. He has the golden touch. About half the time he touches the ball, he is getting a hit. So in my opinion, he is about to be on a decline soon because this luck is just, you can't sustain it. And to answer the question, what the Tampa Bay Rays got wrong about Mike Trout is that they didn't do the shift. They instead put an infielder to the outfield. But as we've seen with the data, he is hitting more ground balls to his pull side, and they should have put more infielders on the left side of the field. Well, if they had another pitcher up there, I'm sure they would have done that because the Rays are big into the analytics. But anyways, I want to know your thoughts. Do you agree that Mike Trout is getting lucky right now? Do you agree with the Tampa Bay Rays putting 4 players in the outfield? Do you agree or disagree that Mike Trout is in the beginning of a decline? I want to know your thoughts. And if you're a player that's struggling to be consistent or struggling to hit for power, or you're a player that knows that they can do more than what they're doing right now, I want to give you this playbook right here for free. Just pay ship. This is called the Hitter's Log, and this is what helped me to be the player I am today. Basically, what you're going to do is jot down all your at-bats, your thoughts, everything, and put it in this book. Then you're going to use that data to your advantage. This is how you will play to your best because you'll know yourself and you consistently will turn the knob until you figure out what works best for you. Best investment you can make for your development, and I'll give it to you for free. Just pay the shipping. Link will be in the description below. Lastly, if you enjoyed this, click the like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps me me. And if you're new here, you will love this video right over here. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, and I hope you guys have a great day.